Hi guys, thanks very much for dropping by. Your continued support is always much appreciated. Thanks again. So this week, running wise, it's been a bit awkward. It's not as fluent and as enjoyable as it has been, so I think my Achilles is playing up quite a bit. So I'll do a run, the next day I've got to wake up with a bit of a limp. I can generally just walk through it sort of thing during the day, but again, it's still stiff and sore around the heel, and it's a constant. You can feel it even if it's not really hurting. There's something there, sort of thing. So I'm trying to manage it. I don't want to stop running. Really don't want to stop running. Like most runners, sort of thing. So I don't think I'm doing any big damage. It doesn't feel like it's tearing or anything like that, but it's just sore. It's stiff. It's not tender to touch at the moment if I'm standing on it, because it's quite taut as they are, sort of thing. But if I raise my leg and support it, whereby you relax the Achilles, then you can feel it as you move it. Then I can feel it. Yeah, it's a bit spicy then. So that's where we are with that. I'm just trying to massage it as best I can. It's not the easiest thing to massage either, being just like a fat cable sort of thing. So just trying to keep it mobile and keep it going, and then get the runs in. This morning I didn't help it by doing the 7x800 meter runs, sort of thing, so at a fast pace, and I struggle with that near the end, not because of the Achilles, but just because the lack of running, or the lack of continuous running, I'm starting to feel at the top end of the pace now, sort of thing. So again, that's something else that's getting to me, because I can feel fitness or speed certainly dropping away at the moment. So that's a concern. But outside of that, I just keep going, and as I say, just try and manage it until I can get home on the 18th, and then see the sports physio and see if we can spot the reason why it's happening or whatever. Because it was great for the marathon, for the half marathon rather, on the 23rd. My Achilles was brilliant, and then I took a week off, and maybe because I started again, was straight again after a week with a speed session, it didn't like it. So I that may be me just brought that on, and it may just be a weakness I've got to deal with at the moment. So we'll see how it goes. Outside of that, I'll apologise now for the lack of content during the week, and certainly that means that there's a lack of information, so everybody knows. You can see when I write the next week in, which I'll put at the end of this, if it says 11k at conversational pace, you know what it is if you're doing it. But when it says 1k tempos or 2k tempos or 800 meter repeats, etc., then I tend to put that on a couple of days beforehand, and I haven't. So today's 800 meter repeats I will put in tonight, so you can catch up with it during the week or try it yourself at some other point, sort of thing. But that's my bad for doing that. Another thing that I talk about now, or touch on now, is I watch a lot of Paula Radcliffe's podcasts. Find them very informative. She has some really good guests on there. Get a lot of good information from experienced runners, professional runners, ex-elites, etc. And also you get a lot of good questions coming in from the people who are watching the podcast, asking questions, and then obviously getting professional answers and that. So I enjoy them, and I usually listen to one as I'm running, sort of thing, or if I've got a spare half an hour or so, I'll download one and listen to it then. So they're always good. But I just caught up on one yesterday, yesterday, where from the 1st of December I think it was, where she had Steve Cram on, who was a very good, obviously a very good runner in his time, probably still is a good runner compared to me, sort of thing. A guy on to talk about shoes, which was very informative. He was there to speak about how the carbon plates are, and how a carbon plate is not for propelling you forward. The carbon plate is for transferring the propulsion from the foam of your heel through to your toes in a direct manner, sort of thing, because there's so lack of support in them, sort of thing. So, which was new to me, because you see a lot of these podcasters, YouTubers, and push the shoe down, compress it, and then release it and watch it pop forward and go, oh, look at the pop. The pop's got nothing to do with the carbon fibre shoe plate. That's there for just directing you. So, but that's not what I was going to talk about. It was more, there was a lady on there, Jane Tarrant, who is a breathing optimizer, which I've never heard of before, never thought of. I've heard a lot of people talk about breathing and that, but to me, I start running, I just breathe. It comes in or out of my mouth or wherever it is. A lot of the times it seems like it's going out my backside because I'm hanging, but that's it. I just breathe and run, and as long as I don't fall over, that's the goal, if you like. So to hear this lady talking about just nose breathing, and when she says nose, Paula did mention, oh, is this like breathe in through the mouth and out through the nose, or in through the nose and out through the mouth? She's like, nope, it's strictly nose breathing, and it's, to her, it's a way of life. It's not just for daytime, but when you run through your mouth, you breathe through your mouth. This is everything. But it was very interesting. There's a few things that she mentioned which I understood and I've known, or I've felt for myself. So it was quite interesting in that way. I was supposed to just stick to nose breathing. Obviously, if you're nose breathing only, it's supposed to be better for allergies, etc., because your nose is a known filtration system. But breathing through your mouth all of the time, you're avoiding the filtration sort of thing, so you're not helping yourself. It warms the air, even just because it takes longer to get to your lungs, etc. And also your posture. You should stand there like you're trying to show off a necklace, is how she described that. So I better stand here probably now that I've said it. So there was some interesting stuff, and I'm gonna give it a little shot when I get home, so I can try and control it. I also have apnea, which doesn't help at night, so it might help me a little bit more through that. But then again, I wouldn't say I hold out too much hope for it, because I tried today, this morning, while I was doing the 800s, on the third 800, I thought, oh, just get this nose breathing a shot. And I think I was using my backside as an exhaust at the time, sort of thing. But the suddenly to be going like the clappers on an 800 meter, and then just sitting there going, it just wasn't going to work, sort of thing. So I canned that and just carried on with the mouth breathing, because I know I'm getting it in, but evidently I'm not making use of the carbon dioxide properly that way, or we aren't. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, but it was quite interesting that it went that as a subject sort of thing. And I say this young lady, she's adamant that this is the way to go ahead. She's teaching children at school how to nose breathe, how to stand. Done it again. So it was interesting. It would be something that I would consider. I consider anything that gives me another, takes a second off my 5k or whatever it does, sort of thing. So if it enables my engine to operate better, then who am I to knock it, sort of thing. So we give it a shot, as long as it's not deteriorate, or as long as it doesn't detract from what I'm trying to do, then I'll try it. So that's where we are with that, but that's just something for later on. As I said, at the end of this, I'll put down next week's runs. I'll also put down today's run, so if anybody wants it, they can have a go at killing themselves and doing the 800s, because that was pretty brutal. But then it would be for me at the moment, because the Achilles is not happy. So that's that. It's still all go. I'm still pushing on, still looking at various races coming up in the early part of spring or latter part of winter. We'll see how we go with them. But thanks again for passing by. If you could just click the subscribe if you haven't already, I'd appreciate the extra follows. And I look forward to speaking to you again. At the end of this also, I'm going to put a 7-day, because we're 7 days now into December, so there's a little 7-day mashup of all of the little surprise packages I've been getting out of the, by proxy, the My Protein advent calendar at home that the wife's been opening for me. But there you go. Thanks very much, guys. Thank you.
Miss, can I shake that thing? Miss, Annabella shake that thing. Yeah, Donna, Jody and Rebecca. Woman, get busy. Just shake that booty non-stop.